So you've decided to become an Amazon seller, but you're hearing a lot of terms and things to decide before you start selling. One of the biggest is which fulfillment is best for you. I'm Alexis from AMZScout. This video will tell you all you need to know when deciding between being an FBA or an FBM seller. Becoming an e-commerce seller in the past used to be a much larger commitment than it needs to be today. You had to contact a manufacturer, which was much harder without a properly working Alibaba. Then have items shipped to a place to store it. Then after all that, ship all items by hand once a purchase was made. This means packaging and individually shipping items was up to you. Needless to say, it was a time and space consuming process. Today, this is known as fulfillment by merchant, also known as FBM. There are still people who do this. However, the creation of fulfillment by Amazon, or FBA, has really changed everything.
Fulfilled by Amazon.
FBA is a service that allows you as a seller to essentially not worry about inventory for a reasonable fee. Your responsibility to your inventory is to make sure it arrives at the designated FBA warehouse with the proper labels. Amazon takes care of the rest. They handle shipping and handling, storage, and even returns and customer service. Your focus as a seller changes from logistics to focusing on getting more sales. This system has allowed people to become e-commerce sellers that never thought it would be possible. Many are able to build great businesses and make a lot of money. Now, FBA gives sellers a chance to sell things on Amazon without ever touching your inventory.
Advantages of FBA.
I've slightly mentioned some of this already, but I bet it's already caught your eye. FBA is fulfilled by Amazon, and by Amazon, I really mean fulfilling your dreams by dealing with the more logistic, time-consuming elements for online selling, plus several other advantages. Let's take a look at some of them.
Logistical advantages.
If you are looking to be an Amazon seller as a way of passive income, this might be the biggest decider for you. You don't have to spend any time on the logistics associated with selling. They'll process, pack, and ship any orders for your product. They'll use their facilities for storage, which is a huge advantage, especially when it comes to how quickly you can scale up your business, considering you don't have to worry about space or workers to pay to do the day-to-day logistical work. Just like the shipping, Amazon will even handle customer service and returns. You get all of this for a fee, commonly known as an FBA fee that is tacked onto each order. Amazon takes out their fee and you receive the rest. The fee is determined by things like weight, price, and a small storage fee. You get to sit back and focus on what you can do to improve your sales.
Products receive Prime status.
Using FBA gives your products Amazon Prime status, an enormous advantage. To understand the advantage, let's look at who an Amazon Prime user is. It's someone that pays an annual fee of $99 to have certain privileges. These include fast and free shipping and access to special deals and content. It's estimated that Prime users outspend regular ones 4 to 3 times more than non-Prime ones. They're avid consumers. The number of Prime users on Amazon.com exceeds 100 million. Now, if you're paying more for a service, you want to take advantage of the perks. So many users only choose Prime options. This alone could be enough for someone to seriously consider transitioning from FBM to FBA. The same way Prime users maintain a special status, so do Prime products. These are the only products qualified for the fundamentals of lightning deals. Now, if you aren't familiar with lightning deals, check out the article that I've placed down below to learn more about them. All in all, having Prime status means that you are more likely to be considered by the largest segment of spenders on Amazon. Therefore, a definitive advantage.
The BUYBOX advantage. Holding the BUYBOX means that if an Amazon user goes onto the listing and hits add to cart, and then makes a purchase, you will receive the sale. Now, if there are more than one competitors, you have to fight for the BUYBOX. Now, if you do not hold the BUYBOX, the only way for you to receive the sale is if a user goes down to new or other offers, clicks it, where they can see different prices, and they have to select add to cart from your exact listing.
Not having the buy box isn't a desired position, not because you can't make sales, but because most people don't even bother looking through other offers. A few factors come into granting the buy box to a certain seller, but since Amazon is always looking out for the interest of their users, it's only natural that they prioritize those that Amazon has more control over. That's FBA sellers. Other factors included are seller feedback, price, rate of returns, and like mentioned before, Prime status. Amazon isn't apologetic about playing favorites, and they assign the buy box to Prime sellers that have equal qualifications to FBM sellers. This way, Amazon can guarantee more things, like quality and timely delivery for products in their system.
Time and freedom.
FBA service allows your focus to shift to getting more sales. Now, that's easier said than done. Successful sellers are constantly on the lookout to improve listings and improve their PPC to keep an eye on their competition. They're always looking into new products, niches, and opportunities for growth. Now, as you can imagine, there's a ton for sellers to do to help improve their business. Now, any business can be divided into two components: those that generate growth and profit, and those that support to keep the system running. Amazon FBA allows you to outsource all support components and focus on primary ones, as discussed earlier in logistics. FBA also grants you freedom. Being an Amazon FBA seller lets you run a business from anywhere in the world with an internet connection. FBA lets you live the dream of running a consumer business without having to be stationary and spending hours upon hours every day packing boxes. You spend your time on aspects of your business that can actually make you money.
Advantages of FBM.
Even though fulfillment by Amazon has been extremely successful and has made an enormous impact on the way we see e-commerce today, some choose to fulfill orders themselves, a tradition as old as online shopping. There are several advantages to doing this, so let's take a look at some of those.
Inventory readily available for sale.
FBA means sending inventory to an FBA warehouse where Amazon takes care of the rest. Now, there are certain times a year where inventory might take longer to be processed to show as available through Amazon. Normally, it takes 12 to 24 hours to have your inventory scanned and loaded into the system to be available for purchase. Around the holidays, it can take 4 or 5 days for inventory to become available. Just before Black Friday, Cyber Monday, or Prime Day, the warehouses typically get backed up, even to a week or more, to be entered into the system. This can be frustrating, especially if you're out of stock, watching your ranks plummet with unavailable inventory. To avoid this, some sellers opt to fulfill orders themselves. This is especially common with seasonal products that they know won't sell for a while. As an FBM, your inventory becomes available the moment that it comes to your doorstep warehouse, wherever you're storing your inventory, and you list it on Amazon. Thus, you avoid the hassle involved with delays caused by the FBA receiving process.
Adding valuable additional materials to your product.
Creating added value for customers should always be considered. A small pamphlet or something that they can learn from is deeply appreciated if it's done well. Customers notice you going the extra mile. This can create brand loyalty and increases chances of your product being recommended by the most powerful marketing tool out there, word of mouth. Now, Amazon also forbids sellers from using external links when sending emails via Seller Central. You can bypass this by creating things that lead customers to your website or your social media platforms. It's not that FBA sellers can't do this, it's just easier for an FBM seller since they handle all of their own shipping and they can make changes more frequently. For FBA sellers, it's a process and it means coordinating with a supplier. It's a process that takes time and additional costs. As a self-fulfilling merchant, you can have an idea, make it, and begin to put them in your packaging. Split testing and tinkering are also much easier for merchant-fulfilled businesses.
There's no need for a prep center.
A prep center is something most Amazon FBA sellers use, at least until they have faith in their supplier. When you first launch your product, sending batches to a prep center is a must. You have to make sure that the supplier is doing everything they promised. Now, a prep center can cost about $1 a unit. It could be more depending on size. They complete labeling and visual inspections for any damage or faulty packaging. You'll have to deal with the shipping costs as well, originally from your supplier to the prep center, but then again from the prep center to the FBA warehouse. This is extremely time consuming, especially when you want the time frame from ordering a new batch to be available to be as short as possible. Adding more time to that process means ordering earlier when calculating projected inventory levels. This can be a cash flow nightmare. Because it takes so long, you might not have the luxury to wait for enough of your inventory available to be sold, or for you to be paid by Amazon before you have to make your next order. A self-fulfilled merchant doesn't lose time or money with prep centers. They are a prep center.
You're in charge of your quality control.
This goes closely in line with prep centers. Having the ability to personally inspect each new shipment can be a great asset. You might hear Amazon horror stories that could have been avoided if the seller could have inspected their own inventory. Sometimes suppliers cut corners and make subpar batches. Sometimes it's an honest mistake. But something wrong with the product can cause most or all the products to be returned. And if that happens, it's a disaster that can cause your listing to be suspended or banned. Proper quality control can cost money. It requires someone to take a few units out and make sure they're up to snuff. Self-fulfilled sellers can establish their own system and develop their own standards. They can also compare batches they receive. This way, the suppliers are held accountable.
The practicality of choosing FBA or FBM.
There are some aspects of FBM that might intrigue you. In some cases, it makes the most sense. It can save your inventory time from manufacture to sale. It can also be practical when you're trying to sell large objects like furniture. Some think it's better to start by FBM to understand the process better. Either way, all roads lead to FBA. It's the primary reason selling on Amazon is what we know it as today. It's facilitated many to become millionaires. Many others have made millions not using FBA, but by building facilities and companies around products. This is an option with FBA as well, but you can grow in a way that's impossible before. Either one that you choose, it's time of great opportunity, so make sure you take advantage. That is it for this video. I hope you found something useful from it. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you did. For more on selling on Amazon, check out our blog, Facebook, and the rest of our YouTube videos. If you are ready to take that next leap into selling, click on the links below for the Web App Pro Extension and the most accurate FBA calculator out there. Until next time, happy selling.